a lot of times we too busy in our heads that we can't get our voice out.
And she said, you ain't got no new clients. You ain't making no money because your page is boring.
Don't let your mind stop you from serving. Hey, how you guys doing? I want to welcome you to the Content Aesthetic Show, where we take different med spa owners, different aesthetic professionals, and allow them to share their stories so they can empower you to keep thriving and making a difference in your community. And on today's episode, we have Sharay. How are you?
I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
This has been an amazing journey. Like we were just talking, it's been so quick, so swift, so smooth, but I fully know that I'm now moving in my purpose because it's moving.
So you say it's moving, you're moving in your purpose now. How have you felt like you've been moving before?
Well, I've always been in the beauty industry. Literally, my great-grandmother taught me how to braid hair at 9 years old, and that has been my life. I've always been in the space of helping people to feel more beautiful, yes. Right? And I've been a licensed cosmetologist, a master stylist. I've been around the world. I'm the global fairy hair mother, yes. Right? So I go around the world doing hair, and I love it, but I've never really done anything more, I felt, for my community. And about 15 years ago, I became a hair loss specialist, and it's something that I'm constantly doing. About 4 months ago, I decided that I was going to stop doing the extension, stop doing hair, per se, and focus on hair loss. Ever since then, I received a small business loan. I made a sudden trip. I went to spend about a month in Japan, Korea, China, and Vietnam studying, gathering products and materials, finding out what all the latest and the greatest is in the community. And I am actively opening a hair loss clinic right now. And it's been moving. Yes. Like hair never moved for me like this. I've been on big stages. I've worked with artists and dignitaries and all types of things, true enough. However, it wasn't moving in a way that was consistent and felt fulfilling the way this does. And I'm truly in love with it. Even being here today, it's just one of those things that the flow, it keeps moving. Like in Japan, in the Asian countries, they talk about chi. And they talk about being in alignment and putting yourself in a position where you're able to flow with the good energy. And that's how this feels.
Yeah, I love that. And so what made you say, hey, I want to focus on hair loss when you could have went down so many different lanes?
Well, hair loss is something that everyone deals with. Every gender, every age, every race. And every one of my clients has some form of hair loss currently at some time in their life or will later on. And that could be due to some type of autoimmune disease. It could be due to PCOS. It could be due to a thyroid issue or oncology where you're undergoing chemo. It could even be hereditary. All of these things, everyone has dealt with at some point in their life, or they know someone who has. And I've always gotten the questions. Even before I started specifically training in it about 15 years ago, people would say, hey, I have this little spot right here. Can you help me? And I kept getting those questions. So I started taking classes, start taking courses. I have literally traveled the U.S., and you see kind of the same people in a group. Back then, you see the same people in groups because there was only a few of us.
Yeah, still to this day, whatever industry you're in.
Only a few of us. Very gate-kept community. And I'm so happy that now people are learning more about trichology. People are learning more about holistic means of care, which is what I do. Now, I do offer non-surgical hair loss methods. I'm what's called a prosthetics case manager, right? That means that I can provide clients with non-medical and medical cranial prosthesis, which what we would call in layman's terms, a wig, essentially, right? Okay. However, for me, I provide wigs for people who have a medical condition who might have allergies to certain things. I help them to find something that looks good for them on them that the insurance can help cover. So through FSA, HSA and their actual insurance companies.
Yeah.
Even I work a lot with the VA also, because I'm a veteran myself, found out I could be a part of their community. So that's what I did.
I love that because so many people confidence get low when it comes to their hair. Like it's like if it start thinning, if it start receiving, if it whatever alopecia, whatever it may be, for some reason your hair sometimes determine your confidence.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And it's so deep because I'm getting a little up in age now, and my hair ain't as thick and beautiful as it used to be, and I'm like, what's going on?
What's going on?
And so what made you like, let me open up a head spa?
Literally sitting, doing a client's hair who has CCCA. Right. And that's a type of alopecia where it might start with a little small circle and it grows out. So you wind up having this large area in the middle of your hair where there's no hair.
Yeah.
And she felt like she didn't have any options other than covering it up.
Yeah.
We had a discussion. I did a consult, and she's like, no one's ever talked to me like this. No one's ever said I don't have to get injections. I don't have to take a pill every day or use these chemicals every day. I didn't know that was an option. And it just shocked me, because I've been doing it for so long. Sometimes you forget that people just don't know. And it was in that moment that I realized, you know what, I need to focus on this. I need to do it full time. Providing a more holistic means of care is something that's very important. And when I work with my clients, I don't just think about the hair on their scalp, right? We do a spiritual approach. We do an internal approach, a physical approach. We do blood work. We do all of these things because your hair is something that is at the end stage, right? When we start to lose our hair, it's not from just right then. It's from something that probably happened 3 months ago, 6 months ago, even years ago, that's just now showing up. So we have to go back, figure out what's going on so we can heal those things. And while we're healing those things, we have to deal with the mental, because people forget how much stress is truly killing us. And it's definitely killing our hair. So we talk weekly. How's your day? How's work? How are the kids? How are the pets? These are conversations that I have with my clients, because sometimes people don't take the time to just stop and focus and just have a conversation. You just keep going. Even with my clients who are a bit more orthodox, I provide Sheetles. That's something in our community that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, what is it?
So when you live an orthodox life, you have to have kosher. A kosher means of living. So that means that the hair that I provide for my Sheetle clients, it's never been in a religious service. So, a lot of times with the extensions are sourced from some countries where the hair removal is a part of a religious process. The hair that I use for the Sheetles is donated hair. And then it also goes through a blessing with the rabbi so that it's considered orthodox and kosher.
But would that still be religious?
Well, yes, religious. However, a part of a particular religion. It's it's a whole thing. Getting in, once you start learning about it, it's interesting. When it comes to religion and spirituality, it's definitely an interesting thing. However, I try to be respectful and mindful of the different things, which is why I have so many different options.
I love that. So when it came to build your spa, how did you get started? Did you start in a apartment? Did you start in a suite, retail space? What's the start like for you?
Well, I first started by creating a business plan.
Yeah.
And I started shopping it to people. And I got a couple of microloans. I'm still open for some microloans if there's any angel donors.
What is a microloan? Break that down.
So a microloan is basically say I needed $50,000 really to build my clinic out, right? A microloan is a small loan, so $20,000.
$20,000 is a small loan.
It's considered in the business community, it's considered a small loan, and it's a small portion of what I feel that I really need to open the entire clinic. And so what I was able to do is procure a couple of small loans at a very, very low interest rate, 1%. They're literally giving me the
so
money
it's real
for my
loan.
business.
So it's a real loan, but it's from people, instead of institutions. All right.
Yeah, and I've had a couple angel donors, and I told them what I was trying to do. And when I tell you this is a new process, I literally just started in June.
Okay. So break that down. Like, so it's other aesthetic professionals that's listening
Mhm.
that might need to find a way to go get some resources and might not have the structure yet to go to an institution. So what would be the
Mhm.
process to even go and get a microloan?
So the process that I took was I sat down and I literally created an outline of everything I needed for my business, from the paper clips on the desk to the sanitation items to rent to insurances to anything that I would need to help my business run. I sat and I wrote it all the way down and wrote it all down. And then I made 3 columns: bare minimum, exactly what I'm wanting, the luxury
So that
of
was
it
like
all.
3 phases.
There's 3 phases. And so what I did was I priced my business at those 3 levels. Priced my business at those 3 levels, and then I created a business plan. Jumped on Canva, made it pretty, did some Googling, looked up the numbers, checking to see if there are any other clinics. Like, there's no other clinic where I'm located in Texarkana, Texas. There's no other clinic that does hair loss or a head spa for 200 miles. And Texarkana is a prime location. I sit right on the border of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. I sit right on 30. There's an airport 10 minutes down the street. There's so much traffic there, and it's just an untapped market, right? Some people would think, oh, no one's ever heard of Texarkana. The people around Texarkana have heard of Texarkana.
100%.
So I did all these things. I put it on paper, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. These are my credentials. I've done it for years. Don't have a lot of pictures because I was a hairstylist in a time that we weren't taking pictures and making videos on a regular basis. It was word of mouth. So I have to build that side of my business, but I have enough people who know me for what I do that they trusted me. And when I gave them my plan, I said, this is what I want to do.
So how did you find these people? Did you go to like Facebook
Family.
Marketplace?
I start family, friends, everybody in my email list. I literally... people, I'm pretty sure there's a few that are sick and tired of me.
So they was like non-traditional investors. So they just probably had some 401k, some savings, and
clients, like anyone and everyone that I could think of. I got on the phone, I sent a text message and said, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I would love for you to be a part of it. Would you mind if I sent you my business plan? And anyone who's ever spoken to me know I'll start talking hair, and I will talk until you stop me.
So just for the aesthetic professionals out there, most people that might have the resources might be super scared. So what did you do to help encourage the people to trust you to invest their money with you?
I didn't. I opened my mouth. I said, this is what I want to do. And if you believe that this is something that you want to be a part of, if you believe in me, whether it's $1, whether it's 100 or more than that, I'll greatly appreciate it, and I'll put it to good use. I did not want to. Sometimes pride kind of gets in the way, right? You don't want to feel like you're begging. That wasn't a part of this. This was me realizing that this is my purpose.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. And either you're going to be with me and go with me, or you're just going to be where you are. And either way, it didn't bother me. Either way, it didn't hurt my feelings. But if I never asked, I couldn't get a yes and I couldn't get a no. So I just asked. I started asking, and I was completely shocked and amazed and humbled by the response that I've gotten so far.
I love that. And so with the terms, let's say somebody give you $20,000. When do you got to pay them back by? What's that interest like? So if they paying 1%, so you got to send them a check every month or after a certain mature stage? Like, what is it like?
Well, for me, I was open to every option because I've never done this before, right? And the people who are giving me the money have never done this before. So with each person that said that they wanted to give, we sat down and we talked about conditions. Okay, what is the percentage rate that you want to return? Do you want to be a part of the business, or do you just want to give into the business? And every single person was like, look, I just want to give you some money. I really don't, need to make it back as long as I get my money back. And I was like, all right, well, what we'll do is you'll donate your money, give me 6 months to get set up and get going in business, and then we'll start a payment plan. And every single person was okay with it. I'm on a 5-year payment plan out. I fully intend on paying them back way before the 5 years. And I expect to give them back way more than the 1% because they believed in me and they trusted in me to give me the amount of money that they did. I'm still amazed.
Yeah.
I can't, number one, you don't be counting people's pockets.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know what people have. Like, you never know. I was completely shocked and surprised by the response that I got. I'm like I said, I'm still in awe. As my things in Texas, I have someone at the clinic now waiting for deliveries. I will be getting deliveries over the next 3 weeks as my items come in. Custom items. Went to China, went into the manufacturers and said, I want this, and that with these tools to do this, to do that.
Yes.
They built it. They shipped it. It's on the way. And October 15th is the day that I'm putting out there that I'll be opening.
That's big.
I'm excited.
So how are you using content to promote your business right now?
Okay. So content, that is something that I definitely struggle with, right? I found this amazing community, the Spa Boss Tribe. It's been about 3 weeks, not even a full month. I found an amazing matriarch, Miss Candace. Got on her live on IG, 6-figure spa chick, about a week ago. And she said, you ain't got no new clients. You ain't making no money because your page is boring. You ain't posted in 3 weeks. You ain't making them stop scrolling. You ain't giving the people nothing. Why they want to spend their money with you? Hurt my feelings. Literally sat there and made a text, said, look, I just got told my page was boring and that's why y'all won't spend money with me. So I will be going live every night, 8 p.m. until this clinic is open. Y'all gonna watch me build. You're gonna watch me clean. You're gonna watch me unbox. And that's what I've been doing for 5 days now.
Okay.
I'm telling you, everything has changed. It's moving. Content is what I'm learning.
Yes.
Because the Capricorn in me would not allow me to just post anything, right? It had to be perfect. I had to structure it. I had to do this and do that. And it wasn't getting the likes that I was wanting.
Preparation, procrastination.
All of those things. Yeah. All those things that people tell you, they're right.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. I literally am jumping on with the afro, no makeup, just sweatpants on, and getting the likes, getting shares, getting new followers. I got like 18,000, almost 2,000 likes on my TikTok live the other night. And I was like, what? Who is this girl?
It's about consistency. It's a compounding interest. It's about keep going. Don't let your mind stop you from serving. That's big. And I always like to tell people that because that's game changing. A lot of times we too busy in our heads that we can't get our voice out. And so for you, if you had one superpower, what would it be and why?
My superpower would be to show people the mirror that they can see themselves the way we see them. Because one thing that I realize is that all the thoughts and the beliefs that I have about me, there are so many people that have never thought any one of those single things ever. I did not realize the level of love that I had in this world until I started doing this process. Until I started talking to people and them telling me, oh my goodness, I'm glad you're finally doing something for you on your own. You deserve this. It's your time. Not why you, yes you. And the way that people have poured into me over these past few months has made such a difference. And I never knew. I never knew that. I never would have imagined that people loved me in the way that they loved me. And it's been such an amazing feeling. And I would love to be able to just give people that feeling and understanding that you are loved and people see you and people know that you deserve the things that you should be getting.
I love that. And I want you to know that you have big energy. I want you to know that you have a reason. Like, you've been doing this your life. This is not new. Like, I even seen in 9th grade you going to get your license and and to pursue this. So this is a lifelong pursuit. So just know you have every tool that you need to make a difference in these people's lives. You just got to show up, and you got to believe, and you got to know that you're beautiful. You got to let yourself blossom on others and not hold it back. All right. And if you can say one thing to another aesthetic professional to tell them to keep going and keep believing, what would you say? Look in this camera and talk to them.
This is a journey. We never understand what's on the other side of the hill unless we keep going. There's been so many times that I've thought, it's not really working. I'm only barely making it. Let me do this, let me do that. Let me keep going to trainings, keep spending money on things that I'm not using, that I'm not doing, and keep going. Once you find your purpose, you'll know it. I can't explain it. I've heard people tell me that, right? Oh, your purpose once you find it. 44 years old. And I'm like, if I ain't found my purpose by now, baby, it's not going to be found. I found it and I get it now. I understand. But if I had stopped, I wouldn't have the feelings that I have now. I wouldn't be opening my own clinic with employees if I had have stopped. You can't quit. You can't quit on yourself. You can't quit on your dream. You might have to pivot, but don't stop.
I love that. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Content Aesthetic Show. And I want you to understand that you have to believe in you, because I promise you, everything that you might be thinking negative, nobody else on earth is thinking about that. You the only one that know your imperfections, but don't use them as anchors. I say those are your uniqueness, and use your uniqueness as your greatness. And stop overthinking about content creation, or if I should start, or where I'm going to get the money. I want you to use this episode to figure it out. Because I'm going to be honest with you, you're going to be the only one mad at yourself if you don't get started today. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Content Aesthetic Show. I am Dontel Antonio, and I pray that this episode helped you go figure it out.